Hey guys, Richard Constable here, and I've got the question today of how long does it take to learn the guitar? So a better question, rather than like a length of time, is more about how many hours you put in, how many minutes do you put in. If you say I've been playing for 10 years, but you've put in 5 hours practice and you can do a few things, then it means that you're only 5 hours in. So 10 years has passed, but only 5 hours of practice has been done. And there's another thing that some people fall in the trap of, and that is they play the same things over and over and over again. So they might be able to play all the chords down the end of the guitar, like your C's, your G's, your A minors, all of that kind of stuff. Really, really great chords. They do the same strumming pattern. And they do it for years, and they can get 10, 20, 30 years down the line, and they haven't improved on any of the other elements of the guitar. And I fell into that trap the first kind of 10 years I was playing. I could only really do a couple of different rhythms because I just kept doing the same ones that I liked. I tried recording after, say, 5, 6 years, and my timing was completely off. And also, I knew some bar chords and I knew some of the chords down the end, but I didn't know any seventh chords. I didn't really know any modal scales. I didn't know, loads of other things, arpeggios and, loads and loads of stuff that's out there. So I just kept practicing the same thing. I didn't venture out into the next step and try and learn the next thing. So a few key elements that are really going to help you practice consistently. So regular focused practice sessions are crucial for progress. And basically what that means is that just like brushing your teeth, you brush your teeth, well, hopefully a couple of times a day. And that's going to keep your teeth clean. And you probably do it without thinking. You probably have a routine every day of how you wake up and how you go to bed. So you're going to do the same routine every day without even thinking about it. You kind of want guitar to be part of that routine. So you get up and you play guitar, or you have your breakfast, you play guitar, you get dressed and you play guitar, or you brush your teeth and you play a bit of guitar. In your lunch break, if you're working from home, or as soon as you come home, or as soon as you've done the dinner, or as soon as you put the kids to bed, whatever it is, it has to be married with something that you do on a regular basis. So if you put your kids to bed every night, as soon as that's done, instead of switching the TV on, go and play guitar for a bit. Or as soon as you wake up, go play guitar for a bit. Or if you're eating your food for the morning, go play guitar for a bit. That's kind of how you keep it consistent. If you're like, I'll do a bit here and a bit there, it's easy for it to get lost in the sea of things and just keep putting it off. But trust me, it was really, really worth it. So learning style, some people learn faster through structure lessons, while others prefer a more informal approach. Again, it just really depends on what kind of person you are. And for me personally, I prefer a teacher. I like a teacher, but once I've kind of got something and I know how to do what I need to do, then I'm happy to learn by myself in my own time. Like, I was fine at school when it came to essays and classwork and things like that, but when it came to exams and kind of cramming and memory, kind of remembering everything, I found that tricky. So natural talent, musical aptitude can influence the speed of learning. So some people do just pick up extremely quickly. That's why you get these 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds playing amazing things, classical pieces, solos, famous songs. And you wonder why you've been playing for 20 years and you can't get it, in the same way that they've picked up straight away. That's just a learning style. It's just natural talent. It could be many factors. They could have lots of people who are musicians in the family. It could be that they're surrounded by music all the time. It could just be, it's like when I was growing up, I saw some kids who could just dance. They could just dance and move their body and arms and legs in a way that I could never do naturally. It's something that I could potentially learn if I was interested in it, but it's not something that came naturally to me at all. I went to some street dance classes, which were great, but I just found that I couldn't remember the steps and I couldn't keep up with everyone, where the others were just like doing it without even thinking. Okay, so that's a bit of natural talent. So goals, are you aiming to play simple songs, or do you want to master complex techniques? So it's like, what is your goal? It's like when I started, before I started, I did a bit of piano, I did a bit of violin, I did a couple of grades in each one. My mum's actually grade 8, I believe, piano, and then my dad got to grade 5 flute when he was a kid. So there was like lots of music. My grandma can play piano as well. So there's a lot of music flying around. My mum still plays, like most weeks, piano and singing and things like that. So there was a lot of that influence in my life. And coming back to goals, my goal was to be a rock star. That was what I wanted to do as a teenager. I kind of have achieved that, maybe not to the level of Dave Grohl or any of the super mega stars, but I've played in front of thousands and thousands of people. Biggest crowd is probably 20,000 in one night, so done sort of what I wanted. It didn't feel the same way as I thought it would, but anyway, it's fine. So that was kind of my goal. That's kind of what's kept me driven all these years. And now I share that with other people by teaching others, what I've learned along the way to try and shorten their learning curve. Previous musical experience with other instruments or music theory can expedite learning. So yeah, just like I mentioned before, I had some musical experience. I played piano to grade 1. I did that for a year. Did violin for a couple of years up to grade 2. So I kind of had a bit of that. Obviously, well, not obviously, but in the UK we have music classes. So there's a little bit of that on the background as well. And my parents played music at home, which makes a huge, huge difference. And then all through my teenage life, I was constantly listening to music, and I was constantly going to gigs all the time. Every weekend I was at a gig. And if I wasn't playing at a gig, I was watching a gig. And if I wasn't watching a gig, I was listening to music, or I was listening to music with friends. So I was just completely surrounded by music. It wasn't just guitar music. It was also like other electronic music. But I kind of was lucky because when I was a teenager, things were switching from tape to CD, and then CD to MP3, and then mini MP3s to iTunes and all the other things, YouTube and blah blah blah. So the music was just suddenly all there that you could just get at any point, rather than just being spoon-fed stuff from the radio or Top of the Pops or some of the famous kind of music shows that were out there. Now it's just completely, internet, incredible that you can just get any music from at any time. So generally it takes several months to a year of consistent practice to become proficient at basic chords and strumming patterns, but more advanced skills like fingerpicking, soloing, and music theory can take several years to master. But remember, learning an instrument is a journey, not a destination. Enjoy the process, celebrate your progress along the way. So there's someone who spoke about the 10,000 hour rule. So if you spend 10,000 hours on a particular subject, then you are now a master, which is, pretty cool. But some people even say that's the start of mastery. So if you did 1 hour a day, it's going to take 10,000 days to reach that destination. So 10,000 days, how many years is that? 10,000 divided by 365, that's 27 years of playing. Now, normally if you're playing an hour a day, you might end up being in a band, you might end up performing, so then there's going to be lots more hours that will be racked up in that time. I personally played at home, then I did gigs, then I did recordings, I did all-day rehearsals. I've done tons of teaching over the past 6-7 years. So my 10,000 hours has definitely passed. I haven't actually written it down as I've gone, which is a bit of a shame. It would be interesting to know how many hours I've actually practiced over the years, but it's a lot. But having said that, if I don't play every day, you get rusty. It doesn't take long to get back on the horse, just like riding a bike, but you do get rusty. So, but if you're not where you want to be, then write your questions down below where you're getting stuck, and I'll be happy to help. But yeah, ultimately it's about understanding what you need to practice and then just putting the hours in and not really caring about if it's sounding good or not. Just kind of keep going and seek guidance from someone who's further ahead than you, and just keep going until you reach where you want to get to. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.